But in joining this, I do not praise you, because you come together not for the better, but for the worse. And I just want to remind you that still he didn't say that they shouldn't come together. Indeed, first I hear divisions to be among you when you come together in the assembly. And I believe it in some part. For also heresies need to be among you, so that the approved ones may become revealed among you. Then you coming together into one place, it is not to eat the Lord's Supper. For each one takes his own supper first in the eating, and one is hungry, and another drunken. For you do not have houses in which to eat and to drink? Or do you despise the assembly of God, and shame those who have not? What do I say to you? Shall I praise you for this? I do not praise. For I received from the Lord what I also delivered to you, that the Lord Jesus in the night in which he was betrayed took bread, and giving thanks he broke and said, Take, eat. This is my body which is broken on behalf of you. This do in remembrance of me. In the same way the cup also, after supping, saying, This cup is the new covenant in my blood. As often as you drink, do this in remembrance of me. For as often as you may eat this bread and drink this cup, you solemnly proclaim the death of the Lord until he shall come. So that whoever should eat this bread or drink the cup of the Lord unworthily, that one will be guilty of the body and of the blood of the Lord. But let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of the bread, and let him drink of the cup. For he eating and drinking unworthily drinks judgment to himself, not discerning the body of the Lord. And just to remind you, we are the body of the Lord. For this reason many among you are weak and feeble, and many sleep. For if we discern ourselves, we would not be judged. But being judged, we are corrected by the Lord, that we not be condemned with the world. So that, my brothers, coming together to eat, wait for one another. But if anyone is hungry, let him eat at home, that you may not come together for judgment. And the other things I will set in order whenever I come. 1 Corinthians is first and foremost a letter that speaks against the division among the believers. The believers should come together to the same place, but for the approved to be visible, it had to be some sects who wish to go away. Note that the sects, those who wanted to divide themselves from the one real gathering, it were those who were not approved. There is always only one approved collection of believers in every place from God's side. This does not mean that it is not true believers in the various divisions, but it means that it is only one group that builds with God in each place. Who are the approved? Well, those who speaks as Paul, who speaks against division. The Lord's Supper is also one picture of this unity. There is one cup and one bread, So this disgraceful behavior of the Corinthians was not only unworthy concerning the remembrance of Jesus' death and Jesus personally, but also against his body, which was all the believers, all the out called in Corinth, and thus to Jesus personally. As we see in 1 Corinthians 10:22 and 1 Corinthians 12:13 to 13, 12 to 13, chapter 12, verse 12 and 13, and elsewhere, the believer is the Lord's body. So we must discern ourselves from the world, and we must have mutual care for each other, and not have jealousy, quarrels, or separations among us as it was in Corinth.